Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here, and a really great big thank you to Huawei for inviting me multiple times to these wonderful events and have an opportunity to speak to everybody over here. While I definitely cannot compete, share the numbers or the testimonials that you guys have just heard a little before me, but what I would do is I would kind of in my own way talk about my journey, our journey of our organizations, and what we're looking at and the things that we're looking at where we need to go. So kind of just a quick show of hands, how many people over here who've kind of seen their organizations go through a pandemic lockdown? Okay, well some of you didn't. Interesting. Now, just very quickly. So as CIOs, as CTOs, as IT directors, as VPs, as executives, right? 3 years ago, we all had some really wonderful dreams. We had some really incredible strategies that we needed to move forward with. We had some really amazing plans. How many of those plans were just kind of rewritten in a matter of 30 days, 60 days, and we went on to the back burner trying to figure out how do we get ahead of this? How do we change this around? And how does this impact our world? That world changed about 2.5 years, 3 years ago. Today, the way I see it is we're seeing the world change yet again. We are now coming out of a pandemic, moving into more of an endemic state. We are today talking about back to office, back to retail, back to malls, back to shops, back to travel, trying to get life as quickly back to normal as we once had. But the one thing we have realized during this time is it's not the same. It's changed, the requirements have changed, and worse than that, the expectations have changed. Our users have gotten used to working from home. Our office workers have dispersed around the world. Our retail customers really went very quickly onto the e-line, onto the e-commerce, right? And now they're trying to come back. Serving a network that is as flexible, as agile, as quick to react and deliver those services truly has been a challenge. How do we get around it? What do we do? Where do we go? How do we very quickly reconnect ourselves, right? That was the key problem. One of the very quick problems I had yesterday, because we're not out of this yet. One of the key problems I had yesterday, I was talking to one of the chip suppliers, and I wanted a CPU for some of my servers to upgrade. I don't want a whole server, I just wanted a few. I have to wait 6 months just to get CPUs in so I could upgrade my servers. I'm sure everybody's experiencing something similar over here, right? Yep, there, yep, everybody, right? Absolutely. How do you stay agile? How do you stay relevant? How do you continue with what you've got by understanding your key challenges to digitization? Now, digital transformation is one thing. We all get that. But at the same time, there is a digitization front to it, right? You got to very quickly change, turn around, and show where you want to go. What is it that you want to address? So as we were going through this journey of the last few years, there were a couple of very interesting challenges that we faced, right? So going from a traditional retail environment, right? Now you'll say, what does Gargash have to do with retail? Well, we sell cars, in case you don't know, right? Typical car model, car business, 3 years ago, you came to the showroom, you looked at the cars, you saw the cars, you liked it, you put money down, you went to the bank, you financed it. Once it got done, you took the car, you drove it home, and you enjoyed the car for years to come, right? Very traditional brick and mortar experience. But as we moved, our business environment changed, our business models changed, the way we sell cars changed. And for that, for us to continue on that journey, right, we realized we needed to go into the 4S methodology to make sure that we serve our customers wherever our customers be. We knew very quickly that we can't expect the customers to come to us anymore at that point in time. So we needed to transition, we needed to transform. And once we figured out, okay, we need to move into that space, how do we go about it? So the first key challenge for us was bulk of the retail data has not been widely sensed. So about 90%, right? We haven't sensed it, we haven't collected it, we haven't aggregated it, we haven't analyzed it because it was a traditional model. We needed to move away from it. Our second challenge, right? Both online and offline shopping. We needed to come up with a seamless experience, right? unlike Amazon's, unlike other major Kareems or whatever else you may have, I can't just pick a car and come and drop it to your home, right? It's not that easy. There's a lot of processes involved, inspections involved, many different processes which require a human touch. So we needed to figure out a way where we could have a seamless experience from the branch, from the customer, to the door, to get the car out to them. So where do we go? How do we bring our 4S strategy in, right? What can we do? As we were coming out of it, as we were starting to transition and move around and learn from it, we realized end-to-end digitized operation, real important. VIP customer, I'm sure you guys have all been through that one. I don't need to say that again. And asset management, stock management, right? We were talking about a time where leaving your home and getting into a car was difficult, let alone drive to work, go to a place, a warehouse, right, where you can just go and count your stock. You can go figure out how much stock you've got. That continues even today. That hasn't gone, right? Even today, we've got these challenges that come and go all the time. So what we do is, for each of these, right, so end-to-end digitization, what was my key challenge? I needed more bandwidth. VIP customers, I needed low latency applications. I needed the service to be where they were. I couldn't ask them to come out. Asset management stocks, branch access to cloud, right? Direct, no longer the MPLS route, right? Even if I wanted to extend MPLS routes or other routes, just impossible. Who's going to come and service, right? So we needed to quickly transform and transition into an SD-WAN. When we first started the journey, we were on the 1.0 controller, right? We had our classical architecture over here. We had the headquarters, we had the branches, right? We had 26 plus branches across the UAE, right? We had software-defined network. We had some orchestration at that point in time. We had a separate NAC solution, wasn't fully integrated into the network, elastic and open. As we decided that we need to migrate, as we decided we need to change, all of these challenges became more and more difficult. How do you extend your NAC over to a branch that is not fully part of your infra, right? So many, many challenges were there. But then as we looked into that and as we moved further out, what we realized that we needed more. We needed to go to what we call plug and play or zero-touch configuration, right? Where your L1s can very quickly take a device, go plug, and get the configuration that is needed for that particular branch, for that particular spot. It is not something that has to be limited to where L2s have to come, guys have to come and get something done. So that was the important bit for us. The second important thing, on-demand internet connectivity, right? Things change. Certain links get choked. Certain bandwidths get choked. Real difficult to manage that, real difficult to handle that. We needed something that would continuously help us transition, transform, and grow, and support our customers the way we wanted to support our customers. Application-based traffic steering. I needed to be able to do this remotely. I needed to be able to do this from home. I can't just stay where I am in my office and continuously deliver that, right? So those are certain important things. Obviously, intelligent O&M, right? Be it far from me to tell you guys how to do that, right? Each and every one of you is a master of your domain. You know how important operational data is for you guys. You know how to collect it. You know how important the quality and utilization is of that. So with that, we were looking at going from 1.0 straight to 3.0, right? No new hardware, no long waits on servers, no waiting for chips to come in 6 months, 8 months, 10 months from now, software upgrade. Get into a software upgrade, and not only do you get this, right? No. Sorry. But we would then get a built-in NAC, right? Earlier, we had a challenge of an independent NAC. We get the SD-WAN capability, which didn't exist earlier, right? We get full management, zero touch, and we get a single point to control whether they're APs, switches, routers, firewalls, whatever have you. So your entire ecosystem managed and contained within one environment. Without taking too much more of your time, obviously one of the key benefits with the whole new platform, I can now manage my WAN, I can now manage my LAN services, I can manage my LAN-WAN interconnections, right? I mean, you guys can read this better than this, and this list just goes on and on. I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I'm going to leave you at that. Thank you very much, everyone.